Hungary's Orbán pushes back on EU and NATO proposals to further assist Ukraine. Budapest, Hungary. May 2024. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has once again positioned himself at odds with the European Union and NATO by proposing new proposals aimed at increasing support for Ukraine amid its ongoing conflict with Russia. Orbán's stance reflects his government's persistent skepticism towards Western policies concerning the war in Ukraine, further straining Hungary's relations with its EU and NATO allies. Orbán's opposition. In recent meetings, Orbán has criticized the EU's and NATO's strategies for aiding Ukraine, arguing that they risk escalating the conflict and could have detrimental impacts on Hungary and the broader region. He has expressed concerns over the economic and security consequences for Hungary, emphasizing the need for a more balanced approach that prioritizes diplomatic solutions over military aid. Orbán's opposition comes as the EU considers a new aid package that includes financial assistance, military supplies, and training for Ukrainian forces. Similarly, NATO has been discussing increasing its support for Ukraine through enhanced military cooperation and intelligence sharing. These initiatives have been widely supported by most member states, who view them as essential for countering Russian aggression and stabilizing the region. Yahoo News' latest news headlines. Regional and international reactions. Orbán's stance has sparked criticism from several EU and NATO members, who argue that unity is crucial in responding effectively to the crisis in Ukraine. Critics accuse Orbán of undermining collective efforts to support Ukraine and of aligning too closely with Russia, given his previous engagements with Russian President Vladimir Putin. However, Orbán has defended his position by highlighting Hungary's unique geopolitical and economic circumstances. He has pointed out the country's reliance on Russian energy supplies and the significant Hungarian minority in Ukraine, factors he believes necessitate a more cautious approach. Historical context. This is not the first time Orbán has clashed with EU and NATO leaders over Ukraine. Since the outbreak of the conflict, Hungary has often been a dissenting voice within the EU, calling for immediate ceasefires and peace talks rather than escalating military involvement. Orbán's government has also been critical of sanctions imposed on Russia, arguing that they hurt European economies without effectively deterring Russian actions. Looking forward. As the conflict in Ukraine continues, Orbán's opposition could pose challenges for EU and NATO consensus-building efforts. The upcoming EU summit will likely see further debates on the issue, with member states seeking to balance support for Ukraine with managing internal dissent. In conclusion, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's resistance to further EU and NATO aid for Ukraine underscores the complex dynamics within these alliances. His stance reflects broader concerns about the impact of the conflict on Hungary and the region, while also highlighting the difficulties in achieving unified responses to international crises.